Thank you for joining me for this video. In just a moment, I'll step you through a case study of how I use strategic futurism for one of my clients to draw some staggering conclusions. In the last 4 videos, we covered a lot of groundwork, and I showed you how to quickly get started with strategic futurism, and I walked you through my entire blueprint. In case you haven't watched the first 4 videos yet, make sure you catch up on them because a lot of information I've been giving away is more valuable than what you'll get in most paid courses. In early 2016, I was asked by a well-known investment company to use strategic futurism to analyze the changes coming in the autonomous car era. The conclusions I was able to draw left my audience stunned by not only the staggering level of change, but also the sheer number of industries, government, and businesses that will be affected. In this study, I used a number of strategic futurism lenses to first find the coming inflection points, evaluate the impending changes, consider a series of probable scenarios, and put together a report that concluded that our transition to autonomous transportation will be the most disruptive innovation in all human history. There will be many winners and losers along the way, but it will be the overall timeline that becomes the most valuable piece of information. Let me say it in another way. Using strategic futurism, I discovered something that may become the most disruptive technology man has ever created. I started off by looking for signs, and they were everywhere. Finding these signs of the future will be one of the first techniques I'll discuss in the course. I then used situational futuring to build a series of use cases and day-in-the-life stories about life 20 years in the future. Situational futuring is the 7th powerful technique I will teach you. One of the best ways to expand our thinking about these day-in-the-life stories is to apply both the question mapping approach and the checkerboard tool, which I will also be teaching you, and which prove to be particularly fertile tactics for uncovering subtle nuances that will undoubtedly lead to some staggering changes in the world ahead. As a result, I was able to conclude that over time, riders will place far more emphasis on features like ingress and egress, riding comfort, and entertainment options, placing far less emphasis on things like car brand, style, color, and efficiency ratings. I also concluded that one of the biggest losers would be cities, losing over 50% of their current revenue streams, and airports, losing over 40% of their revenues stemming from parking and transportation services. I drafted a report on 128 things that will disappear in the driverless car era. This included things like road rage, traffic cops, traffic courts, paid parking, and crash test dummies. I kind of feel sorry for the crash test dummies. I concluded that since cars today are only in use 4% of the time, that one autonomous car will replace 30 traditional cars in the future, and that the early adopters will be the young people who won't even bother to get a driver's license, along with elderly people who don't want to lose their freedom. Keep in mind that what I've just described is not rocket science. Anyone can do this. Imagine what it will feel like to have clarity and insight into future events while everybody else is operating in a fog of confusion. Imagine being able to watch over my shoulder as I show you how to spot the signs, create historic timelines, build situational futuring scenarios, and draw some creative and perhaps even startling conclusions of your own. Ever since we decided to create this course, the excitement around the office has been palpable. People on my staff and close friends have been saying, "Be sure to talk about this, and don't forget to tell the story about what happened on the island of Majorca." We looked at many different ways of presenting the information to ensure you have a solid understanding of how to apply the techniques when it's all over. For this reason, we decided to only work with a small group and closely monitor everybody's progress. If I pour my heart and soul into teaching the secret techniques it's taken me a lifetime to develop, it has to be remarkably good. I simply don't want to be associated with a course that doesn't exceed everybody's expectations. In the final video, I'll show you all the details about how to get a seat in my Future Like a Boss course. And I'll fill you in on several reasons why this course is different than anything else you might come across. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the final video shortly.